Right, let's kick off this deep dive and really get into some fascinating stuff today. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, me too.
We're diving headfirst into the world of Casper blockchain technology.
Specifically 2.0, right?
Casper 2.0, exactly. We've got Michael Stayer, the CTO of the Casper Association, as our main source here,
Straight from the source.
straight from the source.
Yeah.
So we're getting, that insider perspective on, how this whole thing's unfolding.
It's like having a backstage pass.
It is like a backstage pass. And we're going to cover a lot of ground today. We're going to talk about Casper's, beginnings, its journey, how it started out, really focused on those enterprise solutions, and then how it kind of shifted gears.
Yeah, that's an interesting story right there.
Yeah, the strategy changed.
How they pivoted.
And then, of course, we can't avoid the big elephant in the room, right? The Casper Labs departure and what that all means. And then, of course, the really juicy stuff, the game-changing features of Casper 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
We'll break those down.
That's the exciting part.
And finally, take a look ahead. What's on the roadmap, the move towards decentralized governance. And, the big question, can Casper really become a leader in this ever-evolving, crazy blockchain world?
Yeah, can it compete with the big dogs?
Exactly.
Yep.
So let's rewind the clock a bit. Casper, it initially targeted those enterprise solutions, but kind of hit a speed bump. Adoption wasn't as fast as they maybe hoped. Why was that?
Well, the enterprise world, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
It's not the, wild west of crypto.
Right.
It's a lot slower. Those decision-making processes take longer due diligence integration with their existing systems. It's like turning a giant ship, you know? It takes time and careful planning.
And then Stoyer comes on board as CPO,
Yeah.
and things start to shift. They move towards more community engagement, focus on network growth.
Exactly. And I think that was a really smart move, realizing that you need a thriving community,
Right.
not just those big enterprise players. You need developers, users, validators. All of that contributes to security, fosters innovation. It's like a network effect.
It's like a whole ecosystem, right?
It's an ecosystem.
And speaking of players, we got to talk about Casper Labs leaving, right? They partnered up with Hedera. A lot of people were wondering, was there something wrong with Casper?
Was there a fundamental issue?
Yeah. Did they see a problem?
Yeah.
But Sawyer really shut that down. He said it wasn't about technical disagreements at all. It was about strategic visions, different timelines.
What priorities?
Different priorities.
Casper Labs had their own thing going on, right, with that pro-AI project.
What was pro-AI all about?
Well, it was ambitious, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They were trying to, explore AI in blockchain governance, using AI to automate and optimize decision-making.
So more like a research project.
Yeah, kind of a side exploration. Fascinating, but not really aligned with Casper's core goals at the time.
Yeah, so separate paths.
Yeah.
So with Casper Labs out of the picture, that's where Casper 2.0 comes in.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really exciting.
It does.
Yeah.
This is the big upgrade with all these amazing features.
Game changer.
Game changer. Let's start with the one that everyone's talking about, gasless transactions.
Oh, yeah.
Break it down for us.
So gas, in blockchain, it's the fee you pay to do anything. You got to pay in the native token. But Casper 2.0, they're trying to get rid of that for certain types of transactions, at least.
So no more messing around with tokens for basic stuff.
Exactly.
That's huge for adoption, right? Because people who are new to crypto, they don't want to have to deal with all that.
It's a barrier to entry, for sure.
A barrier to entry.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they're beefing up the DeFi capabilities, targeting institutional DeFi, which is a whole other level.
Yeah, imagine traditional financial institutions getting involved in DeFi. That's the goal, bringing those two worlds together.
So like on-chain financial instruments, but compliant with all the regulations.
Exactly, bridging the gap.
It's ambitious. But to pull this off, they're introducing some really cool features like account abstraction. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, but it's important to explain it like I'm five. Okay, so right now, interacting with a blockchain, it's kind of like using an old school bank account. Lots of rules and procedures.
Right.
Account abstraction wants to make it more like using a modern banking app. Smooth, intuitive, customizable.
So easier to use, basically.
Way easier. And it gives developers more flexibility. They can build cooler apps, maybe even those gasless transactions we talked about.
It's like they're streamlining the whole experience.
Exactly, making it more powerful, more accessible.
Okay, so we've got all these amazing features, but were there any bumps in the road during the development of Casper 2.0?
Well, Store did mention a past security vulnerability.
Oh.
But the good news is they found it, they fixed it, and they were totally transparent about it, which is refreshing in the crypto world.
So they owned up to it and took care of it.
Absolutely. They did a full security audit to make sure Casper 2.0 is rock solid.
That's good to hear. Security is everything.
Absolutely. And speaking of building a strong foundation, let's talk about governance and community involvement.
Right, because technology is one thing, but you need a community to really make it work.
Exactly. And Casper's doing that with their move towards a decentralized governance model.
Tell me more.
They're launching a membership program that gives stakeholders a real voice in the project's direction.
So it's not just the developers calling all the shots.
Oh, it's a shared responsibility. It empowers the users and it aligns incentives.
So everyone's working together towards the same goal.
Exactly. It's a community effort.
I like it. So looking ahead,
Yeah.
what's on the roadmap for Casper?
Well, Stoyer emphasized continuous improvement, regular updates, new features, all based on their roadmap. And get this, there's a new roadmap coming soon.
Ooh, a sneak peek into the future.
Exactly. We'll have to wait and see what they've got planned. But even without the new roadmap, there's a lot to be excited about right now.
Oh yeah, things are definitely heating up.
They got listed on Kraken recently. That's a big deal. And they're partnering with some major players like Router Protocol.
Remind me what Router Protocol does.
They're all about connecting different blockchains, making it easy to transfer assets and data between them.
So Casper is not just building its own little island.
No, they're building bridges, connecting to the wider DeFi ecosystem.
Smart move. So it sounds like Casper is really finding its footing. And with all these new developments, all these partnerships, things are definitely looking up.
Yeah, they're making all the right moves.
But hold on a second. Before we get too carried away, let's take a step back and talk about the upgrade process itself. Going from the current version to Casper 2.0.
That's a big one.
It's a huge undertaking. How are they planning to make that transition smooth and safe?
Well, Stoyer was very clear about this. They're being very careful and thorough. They know that stability and reliability are crucial for a blockchain.
No rushing into things.
Absolutely. They've got a multifaceted testing process to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Break it down for us. What kind of testing are they doing?
Well, first, they've got a dedicated development network where developers can test out Casper 2.0 before it goes live on the main network.
So like a testing ground.
Exactly. A sandbox where they can experiment and refine the code before it's released to the world.
Makes sense. What else?
They're also running a parallel testing process alongside the main network. This way they can compare performance, identify any potential issues, and make sure the upgrade doesn't cause any disruptions.
It's like having a safety net.
Exactly. They're not taking any chances.
So it's a very thorough process. They're not cutting any corners.
Nope. They're doing it right.
And when can we expect to see all these exciting changes go live? When is Casper 2.0 launching?
Stoyer said if everything goes according to plan, we should see it by the end of the first quarter of 2025.
Okay, so early next year, mark your calendars, folks. But the development doesn't stop there, right?
No.
What happens after Casper 2.0?
The evolution continues. That's the beauty of it. They've got regular releases planned, new features, upgrades, all based on their roadmap.
So it's an ongoing process.
Absolutely. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Stoyer hinted at something called account abstraction being a key focus for versions beyond 2.0.
Account abstraction. Now, I've heard that term thrown around. But can you explain it in simple terms? What does it actually mean? And why is it such a big deal?
Okay, so think of it this way. Right now, interacting with a blockchain, it's like using an old-fashioned bank account. You got to follow all these rules and procedures. It can be pretty rigid.
Okay.
Account abstraction wants to make it more like using a modern online banking app, more user-friendly, more customizable.
Gotcha.
So imagine things like gasless transactions, where you don't need to hold the native token to use certain applications. That's the kind of power we're talking about.
Wow, that would be a game changer, especially for people new to crypto.
Exactly. It removes a huge barrier to entry.
So account abstraction is all about making blockchain more accessible, more user-friendly.
Exactly. And it opens up a world of possibilities for developers. They can build more innovative and intuitive applications.
So Casper is really pushing the boundaries here.
They're not afraid to innovate, that's for sure.
But let's step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. What does the future hold for Casper? Can they really compete with the giants in the blockchain space?
That's the million-dollar question, but they're definitely on the right track. Their focus on user experience, institutional DeFi, decentralized governance, continuous innovation, it's all there. They're building a solid foundation for the future.
And let's not forget the community aspect.
Oh, yeah. The community is crucial, and Casper's doing a great job of empowering their users, giving them a voice in governance decisions.
It's all about collaboration, right?
Exactly. It's a shared journey, and that's what makes it so exciting.
Well said. So Casper's evolving, growing, innovating, but they also face some challenges along the way. Like
Yeah.
the departure of Casper Labs.
Yeah, that was a big one.
It was. How did they deal with that? And how
Yeah.
did they regain momentum?
They were very transparent about it. Explained the reasons behind the separation. Reassured the community that it wasn't due to any technical issues. And they kept pushing forward. Kept developing, kept releasing updates, showed everyone that they were serious about building a strong and secure platform.
So they walked the walk.
Exactly. Actions speak louder than words, and they've definitely been taking action.
But in such a competitive space, actions alone might not be enough. How is Casper differentiating itself from all the other blockchain platforms out there? What makes them unique?
It's a combination of things. Their focus on both institutional and individual users, the emphasis on security and reliability, the commitment to continuous innovation, the embrace of decentralized governance. It's a unique blend of features and values.
Like they're creating their own path.
Exactly. They're not just following the crowd, they're forging their own way.
And that's what makes them stand out.
Absolutely. They're not afraid to be different.
But let's be real, there are always challenges. What are some of the hurdles that Casper faces as it navigates this ever-evolving blockchain world?
Well, regulation is a big one for the whole industry, and Casper is no exception. They have to navigate that evolving landscape, make sure they're compliant, adapt to different jurisdictions. It's a constant challenge.
It's a moving target.
And then there's the competition. New projects are popping up all the time. Casper has to stay ahead of the curve, keep innovating, keep pushing the boundaries.
So it's a constant race.
It is. But they seem to be up for the challenge.
And they've come a long way. From that initial focus on enterprise solutions to this more community-centric approach, what prompted that shift? And how has it impacted their journey?
I think they realized that a truly successful blockchain needs a thriving community, not just institutional support. You need developers, users, validators, all working together, contributing to the ecosystem.
It's a collective effort.
Exactly. And that realization led them to prioritize community building, empowering users, fostering a collaborative environment.
And it's paying off.
It seems to be. We're seeing more developer activity, more projects, more engagement from the community.
So they found their people.
They did, and that's a powerful thing.
It is. So Casper 2.0 is a big step forward. But how does it fit into their overall vision? Is it the culmination of everything they've been working towards? Or is it just a stepping stone to something even bigger?
I think it's both. It's the realization of many of their goals, the enhanced DeFi capabilities, the focus on user experience, the move towards decentralized governance. These are all major milestones.
But it's not the end.
No, it's also a foundation for future development. Features like account abstraction open up so many possibilities for developers. We're going to see even more innovative applications and use cases in the future.
So it's a continuous evolution.
Absolutely. They're not stopping here.
And that's exciting. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What's happening right now? What are some of the key developments and partnerships that are shaping the Casper ecosystem today?
Well, we've talked about the Kraken listing and the collaboration with Router Protocol.
Right, those are big ones.
Huge milestones. But there's more. They're working with various DeFi protocols, NFT marketplaces, other blockchain projects. It's a growing network of collaborations.
So they're building bridges.
Exactly. And that's creating a vibrant and interconnected ecosystem.
But at the end of the day, it's all about real-world applications, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is this technology being used to solve problems, create value, make a difference?
That's a great question. And that's what we'll be diving into after a quick break.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Casper and its impact on the world.
Welcome back to our Casper Deep Dive. We left off talking about how Casper stacks up against all the other platforms out there in the DeFi space.
Yeah, it's a tough crowd out there. What makes Casper stand out from the pack?
Well, one thing that really sets them apart is their approach to DeFi. They're not just focused on institutions or just on individual users. They're trying to bridge those two worlds.
It's like they're building a bridge between the old and the new. The traditional financial world and this whole decentralized future.
Exactly. And they're doing it by creating a platform that's both robust enough for institutions and user-friendly enough for everyday people.
So it's the best of both worlds. But how does that translate into real features and advantages for users? We talked about gasless transactions. What else is Casper doing to make DeFi more accessible and appealing?
Well, for starters, they're introducing on-chain financial instruments that are designed to meet the regulatory requirements of traditional finance while still leveraging all the benefits of blockchain technology.
So it's like having your cake and eating it too.
Mm-hmm.
You get the transparency and efficiency of blockchain, but with the security and compliance of the traditional financial system.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
But let's talk about the technology for a second.
Hmm.
How does Casper's underlying tech compare to other blockchain platforms, especially those that are focused on DeFi?
Casper is built on a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism called Casper SuBC. It's designed to be really secure and scalable, so you get faster transaction processing without sacrificing security. And they've also implemented something called the correct by construction methodology, which focuses on creating smart contracts that are less prone to errors and vulnerabilities.
So they're not just building a fast and efficient platform, they're building a secure and reliable one, which is huge for attracting developers who want to build serious applications.
Absolutely.
But technology is only part of the story. What about the developer community? How active are developers on Casper? And what kind of applications are they building?
The Casper ecosystem is still relatively young compared to some of the giants out there, but we're seeing a lot of growth, a lot of excitement. Developers are flocking to Casper, drawn by features like gasless transactions and account abstraction, and we're seeing a really diverse range of applications being built, DeFi, NFTs, gaming, all sorts of stuff.
So it's a vibrant and growing ecosystem.
It is, and the Casper Association is really nurturing that growth. They're providing grants and support to promising projects, helping to create an environment where developers can experiment and innovate.
It's like they're creating a fertile ground for innovation.
Exactly. And the move towards a decentralized governance model is also playing a big role. It's giving the community more power, more control over the direction of the project.
And that's empowering, right? It gives everyone a stake in the success of Casper.
Absolutely. And it creates a more collaborative and sustainable ecosystem.
Now let's address the elephant in the room, the departure of Casper Labs. We talked about the reasons behind the split, but it definitely had an impact on the project. How has Casper dealt with that and regained momentum?
They've been very transparent about the whole thing. Explain the reasons behind the separation, reassure the community that it wasn't due to any technical issues, and they've kept their heads down and kept working, delivering on their promises, releasing updates, showing everyone that they're serious about building a strong and secure platform.
So they've backed up their words with actions.
Exactly. And that's what matters in the end.
But the blockchain space is so competitive. How is Casper differentiating itself from all the other players out there? What makes them stand out?
Well, it's a combination of factors. Their focus on both institutional and individual users, the emphasis on security and reliability, their commitment to continuous innovation, the embrace of decentralized governance. It's a unique blend of features and values that sets them apart.
It's like they're carving out their own niche.
Exactly. They're not afraid to be different. And that's what makes them so interesting.
But every project faces challenges. What are some of the hurdles that Casper faces as it navigates this ever-evolving blockchain landscape?
Regulation is a big one for the whole industry. Casper is no exception. They have to navigate that complex and ever-changing landscape. And then there's the competition. New projects are popping up all the time. Casper has to stay ahead of the curve, keep innovating, keep pushing the boundaries.
So it's a constant race to stay ahead.
It is, but Casper seems to be up for the challenge.
They've definitely come a long way since the early days. That shift from an enterprise focus to a more community-centric approach has been really interesting to watch.
What do you think prompted that change? And how has it impacted their trajectory? I think they realized that a truly successful blockchain needs a vibrant and engaged community. It's not enough to just have institutional support. You need developers, users, validators, all working together to create a thriving ecosystem.
It's about building a community.
Exactly. And that's what they've done. They've empowered their users, given them a voice in governance decisions, and created a more collaborative and inclusive environment.
And that's a powerful thing.
It is. When people feel like they're a part of something, they're more likely to invest their time and energy, and that can lead to amazing things.
So Casper 2.0 is a big step forward for the project. But where do they go from here? Is this the culmination of everything they've been working towards? Or is it just the beginning of something even bigger?
I think it's both. It's a culmination of all the hard work and innovation that's gone into the project so far,
Right.
but it's also a springboard for future growth. They've laid a solid foundation, and now they're ready to build on it.
So it's a continuous evolution.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it so exciting. We're just at the beginning of the Casper story.
And what a story it's been so far. But let's focus on the present for a minute. What are some of the key developments and partnerships that are happening right now that are really shaping the Casper ecosystem?
Well, we talked about the Kraken listing and the partnership with Router Protocol. Those are huge milestones. But there are other exciting things happening as well. They're collaborating with various DeFi protocols, NFT marketplaces, other blockchain projects. It's a growing network of interconnected projects and
It's
platforms.
like they're building a web of possibilities.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what makes the Casper ecosystem so promising.
But ultimately, it all comes down to real-world applications,
Mhm.
right? How is this technology being used to make a tangible difference in the world?
That's the question we're all asking. And that's what we'll be exploring next as we delve into the practical applications of Casper technology and its potential to impact various industries and aspects of our lives. Welcome back. We've been talking about how Casper's technology is being used in the real world.
We've covered a lot about, the team, the community, but it all boils down to real-world impact.
Exactly. It's all about the applications. How's it being used to actually make a difference?
Right. So let's get specific. What are some examples of how Casper is being implemented?
Well, one of the great things about Casper is its versatility. We're seeing it being used across a bunch of different sectors like supply chain management, digital identity, DeFi, tokenized assets, you name it.
Wow, that's a pretty broad spectrum.
Yeah.
Let's break down a few of those. Starting with supply chain management. It's an area that's been kind of begging for a blockchain solution.
Yeah, it's traditionally been very opaque, hard to track things. With Casper, you can imagine a world where you could follow a product's entire journey, from where it was made to your doorstep.
So you could verify its authenticity, make sure it was ethically sourced.
Exactly. It brings a level of transparency and trust that's been missing.
It's about empowering consumers.
Exactly.
Jeff.
Giving them the information they need to make informed choices.
Okay, that's a powerful use case. What about digital identity? That's another area that's ripe for disruption.
Absolutely. Our identities are scattered all over the internet. It's a mess. With Casper, you have a secure, decentralized platform to manage it all.
So you control your own data.
Exactly. You decide what to share with who, and businesses can verify identities with confidence.
It's about putting individuals back in control.
Exactly. It's about privacy and security.
So those are some really interesting applications.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget about DeFi. We've talked a lot about the concepts. But how is it being used in practice?
We're starting to see some really innovative DeFi applications on Casper. Decentralized lending platforms, stablecoins, new financial instruments that offer different ways to manage risk and create value.
So it's about more than just speculation and replacing traditional banks.
Right. It's about building a more inclusive and efficient financial system,
Yeah.
one that benefits everyone.
And Casper is playing a key role in that evolution.
Absolutely. With its technology, its focus on user experience, its community-driven approach, Casper is becoming a hub for DeFi innovation.
It's an exciting time to be watching this space. As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm amazed by how far Casper has come. From those early days focused on enterprise solutions to now. It's been quite a journey.
It really has. And it speaks to the vision and dedication of the team and the community. They've faced challenges head-on, embraced new ideas, and never stopped pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a testament to the power of innovation and collaboration.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, what's next for Casper?
That's the big question.
Mm-hmm.
Will they become a leader in this crazy blockchain world?
Only time will tell. But the potential is certainly there. They have the technology, the team, the community, and most importantly, they have the vision.
And that's what makes it all so exciting. It's a story that's still being written. We're just at the beginning.
And who knows what the next chapter will hold.
Ugh.
But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an interesting ride.
It is. And we encourage all of you listening to join us on that ride. Explore the world of Casper. Dive deeper into blockchain technology. The future is out there, waiting to be discovered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So stay curious, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay tuned.
We'll be back with more deep dives, exploring the most fascinating corners of the tech world. Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.